Sanders, the running back to start for St. Louis. High snap, and Wilkins on the swing pass. And a tough collision on Ja'Cour Pearson. And coming in quickly for the Renegades was Miles Dorn.
Miles Dorn just reads this from his safety position and comes right downhill. Absolutely drills Ja'Cour Pearson. St. Louis ran something similar in the first series last week, trying to get Ja'Cour Pearson the ball on the perimeter. They run a lot of misdirection and try and get the ball in their receivers' hands very quickly. A lot in this offense.
Now Miles Dorn telling Harry Douglas pregame, last year was a tough year, lost his mom, didn't play as well as he wanted to. Blake Jackson. The speed sweep to the near side, a big gain for the Battlehawks.
The two tight ends on this absolutely make it. The blocks out here on the edge as you get the handoff. And Jake Sutherland and Chase Allen just get up on second and third level defenders and free up Blake Jackson for a big game. Gotta say, Roy, that punt's looking less and less likely with another first down.
It looks solid after that first play, the incompletion on the swing pass. Not as much now approaching midfield. Sailors remains on the field. They'll fake it his direction. Deep ball, double coverage, chasing, and incomplete. Well, for a moment, Gary Jennings was open. And the coverage by Stevens Jones Jr. and Jaden Price.
Pistol, south left, 18 taxi. Swap, gap to pistol, south left, 18 taxi.
Prior to Jaden Davis getting the pass
Gagan running that West Coast offense with Manny Wilkins at the controls.
Guys, I think Kyle Caskey, the running back special teams coach, is having to help out with communications here, getting them out onto the field.
Something to watch there on 2nd and 10. Just underway in Arlington. Week 4 of the UFL. This time it'll be Jacob Sailors. Around in the backfield will make something out of nothing, and Jaden Price met him first. Third down and long coming up, Roderick.
Jaden Price
Spread right, 8 surge,
had a good opportunity.
Y arrow, Ohio. Spread right, 8 surge, Q40 paint, Y arrow, Ohio.
Trips on the turf.
And you hear that play call.
Pretty disappointed about that, too.
This is, as Cole just said, this West Coast offense. A lot of verbiage, calling out every single route. Can Manny Wilkins figure out, dissect the defense and get the ball out on time?
It is a timing-based offensive attack. Battlehawks 49% on third down this season. Play clock winding down. Wilkins falls down with a snap. Ball popped out late. And this play is still alive. Chris Odom takes it back the other way. And a touchdown is the call from 39 yards out. And Wilkins remains on the turf near the 40-yard line, grabbing that right ankle. And a lot to unpack on this sequence. Wilkins, of course, Arizona State standout. Huge numbers in Tempe. And taking over for A.J. McCarron this season. Max Duggan is the backup.
He runs it himself. Looks like he picked up the first down, but there's a flag on the play. Yeah, exactly like you said.
Yeah, as Manny Wilkins plans to go forward, you see that right leg just gives out on him. And we've seen that enough time with quarterbacks where it makes your mind go to just hope that Achilles is okay and the entire lower leg. We'll keep an eye on what happens as Manny Wilkins, starting quarterback for St. Louis, injured on the field.
Injured in that right ankle, lower leg area, put into an air cast. Support back here in Arlington. We'll go to our command center and VP of officiating, Mike Pereira. Mike, was that a situation where Manny Wilkins gave himself up, obviously, when he was injured? What did you see?
Yeah, I think there's some discussion about that, but in my feeling here, he's actually moving forward. It's really an unfortunate injury, but a good job really by Francisco Villar, who's going to be a new Big Ten referee, by the way, because in college he would have been down, but in the NFL he's not down by contact. So that ball coming loose as quick as it did, it's too hard for us to kind of put that intent of saying we could actually make him down at that point.
Mike, thank you very much, and we certainly hope the best. Wilkins, as he is carted off, and that will mean Max Duggan now in the spotlight for the Battlehawks, the reserve quarterback. And how about Chris Odom on the return, the Arlington native who played his college ball at Arkansas State, getting the job done for the Renegades. This conversion attempt brought to you by Ortho Home Defense, and from the 5 this will be a 2-point opportunity for the Renegades, who just scored on the longest bubble return in the UFL this season.
Look at Arlington's first snap offensively of the game.
Luis Perez, the quarterback, an empty backfield, looking to throw it. And right in front of the goal line, the pass corralled by Zay Winstead from East Carolina to stand out for the Pirates. And the 2-point play is good. It is 8-0 Renegades.
Just a nice job by Winstead of pushing the defender out, and Luis Perez working from his left all the way back to the right. His progression works with the timing of the route, a good accurate delivery, which we come to expect from the Spring King. And just like that, I mean, St. Louis driving, an opportunity on a 3rd down, and then bam, next thing you know, they're down 8-0 to the Renegades.
Bob Stoops has to love this start. Harry and Cole, what does this do? Harry, I'll start with you in terms of a team's confidence when you see your starting quarterback go out with an injury like that.
Well, it's devastating, number one, but at the same time, you have that confidence in Max Duggan that he has the ability to come in and run the same exact offense. He is a guy that has the athleticism. He can run around as well. So now you have to move on. It's next man up, and I hate to say it like that, but if you're the St. Louis Battlehawks, you can't be worried about your quarterback going down. You got to try to win a football game right now.
Blake Jackson with a crease. And ahead to the 43. Cole, did you ever have a starting quarterback at Auburn go out to an injury that early in a game?
Yeah, it has happened before, and I wanted to get Hakeem Butler, who we're hoping is going to be back soon, big-time wide receiver for this Battlehawks team. You've been around Max Duggan. You understand what he is as a quarterback. Just give our listeners a description.
Max is just a competitor. That's probably the word I would use for him, no matter what the circumstance. Seen him use his leg, got a big arm, so smart, cerebral, so competitor. So
chill in the trash talk to the other team, okay?
I can't do that.
We hope to see Hakeem Butler back next week after the hamstring injury. Confusion. Duggan is going to make something out of nothing ahead to midfield. So the first snap, he tried to hand it off one way, Cole.
Some confusion, but Roy, that's what Anthony Beck told us he liked about him most. He was a little bit more of a north-south runner, Roddy, and that's what you get with Max Duggan.
Yeah, but if there's no confusion, they hand this off. I mean, they had a hole the size of Texas. Jacob Sailors may have hit his head on the goalpost. That thing parted like the Red Sea.
Selected by the Chargers, 7th round 2 years ago. Of course, he led TCU to the national championship game against Georgia back in early 2023. Sailor's going to be bottled up on 2nd and short. He'll get a yard, and maybe that's it. 3rd down coming up.
And this is where I think the quarterback run game could come into play more with Max Duggan, or at least the internal quarterback run game. The in-the-box quarterback run game could come more into play with Max Duggan than it did Manny Wilkins. Do you drop back to pass and have Max Duggan throw his first pass here? I think I'd put it in the hands of 14, let him put his head down and see if he can get the yardage.
3rd down and 2. Battlehawks near midfield. Max Duggan on in relief of Manny Wilkins, delivers a strike, and that'll move the chains. Jake Sutherland the grabs, tackled by Donald Payne, and just like that, the Battlehawks in plus territory.
It's a good delivery by Max Duggan.
Sutherland from Morehead State on 1st down. Duggan delivers another accurate pass, and Frank Darby brought down near the 40. Donald Payne is mic'd up for us today. Linebacker for the Renegades. Let's have a listen.
Over solid book. Over solid book. Man, Bill, I love
Great. It'll be third and short. Payne, the tackle, and you hear the collision.
I love the commentary from Donald Payne. Biting your lip during a play is the absolute worst, especially when you're out there on the field. All I can say is, man, got to keep playing. Good job by Jacob Sailors, though, getting some positive yardage.
Sometimes you just need to taste a little blood, Ronnie.
No one makes me bleed my own blood.
I ain't got time to bleed.
You want to taste any blood? 3rd and 2. Irvion Howard checks in at running back. A pistol look for the Battlehawks. Howard going to be stopped short. Right at the line, and it was Joe Powell that...
Coming off the backside, Joe Powell just knifes in and is able to stop this thing in the backfield. It's a really nice job of recognizing, knifing close to the line of scrimmage, knowing where the running back's going, and tackling Irvion Howard before he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Short yardage right there, backside tackle. I want to think about taking that in man on the line of scrimmage instead of climbing to the second level.
Yeah, great call, Cole.
Gentlemen, I will ask you to pause for a moment and make sure that we honor Rodrigo Blankenship, the former Georgia standout, a 56-yard field goal last week and a 55-yard attempt on the way this week. And Blankenship bangs it home. Battlehawks on the board. 8-3 our score. The UFL will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. OU hired him as the head coach back in '99 when he was just 39 years young. Clay Brooks from the 1. A cut, a maneuver, and brought down near the 30. We check in again with Cole.
Coach Beck, you lose your quarterback. Obviously, Max Duggan comes in now. In our meetings, you raved about your confidence for him. What changes?
Coming off the backside, Joe Powell just knifes in and is able to stop this thing in the backfield. It's a really nice job of recognizing, knifing close to the line of scrimmage, knowing where the running back's going, and tackling Irvion Howard before he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Short yardage right there, backside tackle. I want to think about taking that in man on the line of scrimmage instead of climbing to the second level.
Yeah, great call, Cole.
Gentlemen, I will ask you to pause for a moment and make sure that we honor Rodrigo Blankenship, the former Georgia standout, a 56-yard field goal last week and a 55-yard attempt on the way this week. And Blankenship bangs it home. Battlehawks on the board. 8-3 our score. The UFL will continue after these messages and a word from our ABC stations. OU hired him as the head coach back in '99 when he was just 39 years young. Clay Brooks from the 1. A cut, a maneuver, and brought down near the 30. We check in again with Cole.
Coach Beck, you lose your quarterback. Obviously, Max Duggan comes in now. In our meetings, you raved about your confidence for him. What changes?
Man, that makes me sick that happened. Listen, Max is ready. He's a gamer, okay? It's good we had a nice drive to get some points there. I just think we got to kind of regroup as a team. We get our coordinator and the quarterback together, get a nice little plan as we move forward. Now our defense and special teams has to rise up for us in this game till we get in that flow. But, hey, getting points in that situation is big.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks, Cole.
Cole, thank you. Renegades take over. Luis Perez. Texas A&M Commerce, the MVP of the XFL Championship game just 2 years ago. This run attack will be on full display. Lunch leads the UFL and rush yardage. He's going to be tackled behind the line. Falu met him quickly, and a loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Luis Perez, who's been around in just about every spring league there is, leading the UFL in completion percentage.
Big numbers throughout. There's multiple springs. At 30 years old, Bob Stoops said this week he was old when we got him, and he's even older now. Tyler Bonge picks up a couple, and it's 3rd down.
But he's seen so much, and the reason this team is so good on 3rd downs is because Luis Perez is so efficient on 1st and 2nd to get them in 3rd and short.
Left tight, Z move, 51, Z snag, get choice,
It's not that old. 30's not that old, is it?
I would trade maybe 30, and I'd take that old.
I'd take that in a heartbeat. Peyton goes in motion on 3rd down and 3. Empty backfield for Perez. And delivers another accurate strike to Burnett, Deontay Burnett. Played his college ball at Southern Cal, picks up the first down.
There's just a ton of space for Deontay Burnett to work away from that hook curl defender and ahead of the corner who looked like he was in cover 2 out there to cover the flat. You can't give a receiver like that much space on third down and a quarterback like that easy a read.
But I will say who makes that play is Tyler Vaughn's on the outside releasing, giving that slot receiver space to work with.
Offensive guys always on the same page. Here's Balaj, a stutter step. They are looking out for number 4 for the Renegades. Willie Harvey leading the charge. No gain on the play.
Tell you what, something to watch over the course of this game with Arlington. We highlighted in the open is the usage of their tight ends. Sal Cannella, Seth Green. Sal Cannella just stuck his nose right up the middle. It was awesome.
Give him officially 1 yard on the play. Balaj to the edge. With a stiff arm, a penalty marker comes in. Willie Harvey ushers him out near the 50.
Holding offense number 63. So we're going to go 10 from the previous spot, yes? Holding. 63 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Francisco Villar, our referee.
Yeah, it's going to happen right here on the edge. There's Ricky Lee. And as the ball bounces out, he's just going to grab the shoulder pad. Obviously, puts him way behind the sticks.
Willie Harvey. The sound on the tackle.
The tough part on that one, guys, is he gave it to you. I mean, he kind of jumps inside there. All you got to do is just wall him off and try to pull him back down inside with you. Unfortunately.
Harvey from Iowa State, of course, Anthony Beck's son Rocco, the quarterback for the Cyclones. Perez sails it, nearly intercepted. And the pass was broken up by Chris Peyton-Jones, working against Tyler Bonds.
You heard him say that these balls are floating. This one needs a little bit more zip on it because the guy they call CPJ, Chris Peyton-Jones, had an okay chance to try and pick that off.
I would also say if you're going to throw that out route to the field, you better throw that bad boy on time, because if not, it's going to go back for 6 the other way.
I've already seen a scoop and score today with Chris Odom. Finding the...
Look at this front, 2 light guys lined up inside.
Third down and long. Crosser is there. First down is not. Ball pops out. And a quick recovery with the grab by Vaughns. Mike Rose forced that fumble. Another standout from Iowa State. What team coming on the field?
Go one more series. Go another series. We'll go to the next one, yeah? Good job, Jake.
Anthony Beck, you have to be incredibly pleased with that defense performance. And the 1 snap on the 2-point conversion, and then coming up in their first possession and stopping this Arlington team.
Marquette King gets it away. Ja'Cour Pearson right up the gut. Midfield position. Ball comes out. Renegades hop on top of it. On of 39, a return of 22, but then the fumble would be the second turnover.
Comes out right as he's going to the ground. Does anything hit the ground before this thing comes? Nope, that's a clean fumble. What a job by Sal Cannella. Is the starting tight end, is able to get his hand on the football and knock it out. Great job by Carlton Johnson jumping on the recovery.
Johnson on top of it. Renegades in business once again. Carlton played his college ball at Fresno State. Anthony Beck back to the drawing board. 2 early turnovers, 1 immediately cashed in for a touchdown in the 2-point conversion. Perez, wide open, Cannella into the red zone. But Cannella's got a little shake and bake to him.
Sal Cannella's just going to go right up the seam. Watch this throw by Luis Perez. That's a tight window. Puts it on the back shoulder of his tight end. And I tell you what, you watch the film of Luis Perez, and there are throws in every single game where you watch and you're just like, wow, how is this guy not in the NFL?
He's had staying power in training camps, including preseason last year with the Chargers. Raj back on the field. He'll rumble ahead towards the 10. Chris Garrett, who's back and healthy, that's a good sign for the Battlehawks, makes the tackle.
And I'll tell you guys, when it comes to Luis Perez, I love the ball handling as a quarterback, right? Whether it's faking to running backs, right then he just faked the screen, and then the ball placement, put on the back shoulder like you mentioned, Roddy. He does everything in detail, and you love to see it from the quarterback position.
No quarterback on the field in this play. Seth Green lined up at the quarterback position. He's a tight end.
Run a little option play. Far side and lassoed out of bounds. Day Hunter. A little razzle-dazzle. We thought we would see some of this really from both sides today.
Well, how about this? You put the tight end in, and then you just read the end man on the line of scrimmage. If he comes down, you pull it. And Seth Green does that. Then you pitch off whoever shows up. So the fake goes to Kalen Balaj. Pull, and then on the outside, once your running back gets leverage, you just knock it out there. And Roy, there's no better way to make a Paul Johnson protege happy than running some option.
They are interchanging quarterbacks left and right. Holton Ahlers checks in, and a handoff deep in the backfield to Smith. And he's going to be stopped at the line on 1st and goal.
Yeah, Seth Green was 6 of 8, had 3 touchdown passes during his time in Houston, so he's a little familiar with getting the football directly.
And now Holton Ahlers, the wily veteran from ECU, with Perez on the sideline. 2nd down and goal. 2nd year with Arlington. Holton Ahlers wants to throw it this time. It's play action. Covered up. And a dangerous toss to Seth Green in that back corner makes it 3rd down.
JP. What happened? Triple right. Z jet left. Can Casper. Indy 6. Gotta go. Triple right. Z jet left. Can Casper. Indy 6.
I will call time if need. Okay, we're Gotta go.
Renegades have to hurry. Long had a gleam in his eye talking with us this week about some of the special plays he had in store for St. Louis. Pop pass to the edge. Payton. Oh, he got there. Devontae Payton, another touchdown for the Renegades.
Scrimmage is really the only one that's going to have a chance at this, because once Payton gets outside, there's enough blockers to cover up everybody in the secondary. Everybody was over there for St. Louis. Arlington puts the ball in the end zone.
42 yards in 6 plays. Going to go for 2 again. 2-point attempt from the 5-yard line. You can go for 3 from the 10. Perez on the field, going to throw it quickly right at the goal line, staying alive as Bonds. Conversion attempt brought to you by Ortho Home Defense.
Another really nice, tight delivery. And I thought Vaughns might have gotten in on the initial catch, but he made sure of it with the 2nd effort. Now, this St. Louis team has really got to find its footing, as Arlington's gotten a couple of seconds. This St. Louis team were able to hold on when St. Louis finally got their bearings.
Sidewinding kickoff to Gary Jennings. Battlehawks in search of a spark with Max Duggan. And we check in again with Harry Douglas.
I'm here with Devontae Payton, who just scored that 2-yard touchdown. You had to avoid the end man on the line of scrimmage. Talk about those avoiding skills.
I mean, it's just something that I've been, used to since I was young. Just using my speed, that's an advantage that I was blessed with. So, just taking advantage of all opportunities. When I get the ball, just try to do what I can to get my team in the end zone.
So last week you guys were 0 for 4 in the red zone. How good did it feel to actually get the ball into the end zone this week?
I mean, it's a great step forward. Every day our coach preach about red zone pressure, making sure that we get in and we put points on the board to make it easier for the defense. So this is a great step for us.
Good job, man.
Appreciate it.
Gary Jennings, the reception, diving down on top of the turf. Payton, of course, played in the SEC at Mississippi State and Tennessee before landing in the UFL. with the Renegades. Reaching the end zone for the first time this season. 2nd down and 6. It was Mims that went in motion. Sailors, the running back, stacked up and driven backwards. We'll check in again with Aaron Dolan, our sports betting analyst, looking at the live lines, Aaron.
Well, Arlington is now laying 11.5 points after they were an underdog for the majority of the week. And then, of course, like I mentioned at the start of this broadcast, it ended up closing at pick'em. But keep an eye on that total. It's up to 48.5. That's a 10-point swing that we've seen. And typically for UFL games, we're talking about the unders, especially in the first half of games. Typically, the line is dropping, but in this case, it continues to rise. Last week, we finally saw some overs hit, so we'll see how high this line gets.
2 touchdowns already in our first quarter. Near the end of the frame on 3rd down. And Duggan across the middle, wide open is Mims. That will move the sticks. And tackled near the 45, a gain of 18. Jamar Summers with the stop.
Mims does a nice job winning in one-on-one coverage over the middle.